morning, everybody, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Greetings. I'm Paul at Paul Phillips Fix. Let me tell you the story of what's going on with this car. It's a 2015 Kia Soul with a 1.6 in it. Very good friend of mine's car. What happened was she was parked and she left the blower motor running and killed the battery. I guess she had the heater on. Or the AC was on prior and she was blowing the cool air out. I don't know what she was doing, but she had the blower motor running and the car wouldn't start. So they went to jump it and the jumper cables were put on backwards and actually went on fire. So that's not a good scene. They were on there a little while. I went over, I checked the car out, jumped it, got it running, and did a voltage measurement on the alternator. And all I am getting is battery voltage. So what I'm going to do right now, I know I don't even need to do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a quick check on the fuses in the fuse panel. I looked at the larger ones. They all look intact. I'm going to hook a test light up and check the other fuses. And then I'm going to do a voltage drop reading across from the positive battery post to the alternator, just to see that there's no voltage drop there, checking that wire. Okay, so let's kick it over and check the fuses. Give me a second. I'm gonna start it. I'm hoping you guys don't fall down. Fell down. Go start it up. One of the weird things on this is I'm not getting any power steering. I don't know if that is because the alternator is out and it's not energizing the power steering. Maybe that's some default thing there. That's a 10 amp fuse that I'm getting nothing on. Let me pull this 10 amp out and see if that's blown. I don't know what that's for. Let me go get a needle nose pliers so I can get that out of there. They don't have any little, oh, they do have fuse pullers in here. Okay. It's not blown, just not energized. Maybe that's a switched ground fuse. I'm going to go to my positive battery post and put my test light on it. All right, that's a switch ground. I switched my lead around to the ground cable and took my test light on that fuse, and that all the fuses are intact. Now what I'm going to do is my voltage drop measurement across to my alternator. Let's put this little fuse puller back in here. I'm going to take a reading of the battery voltage right now. Battery voltage is 11.79 volts. I'm going to take a reading from the alternator post. I'm going down here to the battery post on the alternator. You're not getting any voltage down there. That's not normal. I should be getting battery voltage at least down there. That's very strange. I went to the BAT post down here on the alternator, and I'm not getting any voltage on that reading, on that any reading on that connection. Nothing there. That's strange. That's unusual, guys. Let me look at what's going on here. Okay, guys, I was wrong. This post right down here, that's a ground on here. That's not the BAT post. This doesn't have a regular BAT post on it. It's all just those plugs. It's got multiple plugs on there. This plug here, I don't know if that's the only other wire on there that connects into here. You got to disconnect this to get this out of the way. The other one is down to the AC clutch down there. I don't know if you can see that, but this plug's got to come off to get the alternator out, and so does this plug here. But the alternator's not putting out any charge at all, so I don't see any discrepancy with the wiring in here, any problem. The alternator is just not charging. One weird thing that's going on is I have no power steering, like I said. I'm hoping this will be restored when the alternator that I put in starts charging. I'm going to test that after I do that. This is another thing I just wanted you to note. On here, they have this threaded adjuster to adjust your belt tension on here. There's a phone app. It's called Spectroid. I have it right on here. If you twang that alternator belt, it will give you the frequency of the belt tension. So that way you can be sure to install that new belt. I'm changing the Serpentine belt while I'm in here. The belt on there is over 5 years old. It might still be good, but while I'm in there, I figure it's a good time to put a new belt in there. So what I'm going to do is take this app, go down here and twang that belt, and see what frequency it is at. Minus 25. I want to clear this again and not talk. All right, it's got a pause on the app. I did that. "108 hertz was the reading on that belt. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to go in a darker spot. Maybe you'll be able to see the reading that you'll get on this app. That was from me twanging the belt. I don't know if you can see it now, but it was at 79 decibels at 108 hertz. So that's what I'm going to tighten the new belt to, is 108 hertz. That's the frequency at which that belt vibrates when you twang it, and you'll get the same tension as the original belt. Okay guys, to loosen this alternator out of here, right below this pulley, there's a 14 millimeter fastener that's got to come all the way out. This is a 10 mil here. I believe these are 10 mil as well. It's easier to just remove this whole tensioning bracket. After you loosen this bolt, you can screw this in. That will loosen the belt tension. You'll be able to get the serpentine belt off. Then I would just pull this whole thing out to get it out of your way. Disconnect this connector here and disconnect this connector here. Okay, then you'll be able to just rock your alternator out. The new one should go in easier than the old one comes out, because this bolt that goes through here kind of pulls a metal sleeve in there and tightens it, all right, when you tighten it up. Okay guys, after you get that 14 mil out that's right below the pulley, that's a tight squeeze. You got to just wiggle it out. Then you will loosen this 10 mil bolt, because that holds it on the adjuster. So you got to loosen this one up. Then I believe it's clockwise. No, it's counterclockwise to loosen up the adjuster. All right, you want to make that nice and loose so you can get the new belt on. So you got to loosen this so it can slide. If it's frozen up, just give it a little tap with something on here. It'll move the alternator back. Now I'm removing these two 10 mil bolts right here. I'm going to take this bracket off. I loosened them already. I'm going to take them out now. Then I can get the alternator out of there freely. I'm going to remove this plug. You just depress it on the end. And this plug here, same scenario. Just get those two plugs out of the way. They're different plugs, so don't worry about mixing them up. Okay, that's how you get the alternator out. I'm sorry, I misspoke. This bolt here and this bolt and these two bolts are not 10 mil, they're 12 mil. I'm sorry, I misspoke on that. I thought I had a 10 mil on there. 12 mil, okay? Okay, those two bolts on this bracket are different sizes. Pay attention which one's the long one. I believe the bottom one is the short one and the top one is a long one. Don't go crazy when you retighten those, because you're going into aluminum. It's a soft material. You don't want to strip it out. This bolt needs to be removed so you can get this off of the old alternator and get it on a new one. This goes through the adjuster into the alternator. So that one's got to come out as well. I'm going to leave that right in there so it doesn't get mixed up with the other ones. My little magnetic tray over here. And now we're going to undo the plugs. One off. I may have to get a needle nose to get in there, a bent needle nose. I got fat hands. Let me try to just get that plug off. Got on that plug with a bent needle nose plier. Just helped me get in there to depress that little tab on the back of that plug. And it came right out. This little connector's got to come off. I guess one of those like Christmas tree things or something. Let me get my flashlight and look at that little fastener that's got that on the other alternator. I don't want to break that. So we can reinstall it on the new alternator. I know you guys are going to bitch about the camera shots, but you know what? Try to get in a small engine compartment like this and get shots is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make a useful video for you guys. I'm hoping to bring information that will help somebody. I'm going to try to get around the back of that plug with my bent needle nose. There's two tabs that come out on that. Hopefully I can depress them and get that clip out. I don't want to break it. Maybe I can get in with my pocket screwdriver. Let me go get my pocket screwdriver and see if I can get in there with that. Okay, for that little fastener, I got a pocket screwdriver. These are great. I'm going to eventually, probably when it starts snowing, when I have time to be in the house, I'm going to make a post on my community page with all of the tools I use. These are Matco tools. Pocket screwdrivers with a magnet on the end. Great little tool. Good for picking up bolts and stuff. And pocket screwdrivers come in so handy to have. A need for everybody's toolbox. So down the road, look at my community page for tools. So I got that fastener off. Just got two little springs, clips on each side of it. And now we can get the belt off and wiggle that alternator out. Push it all the way up. Get your belt off. Still gonna be stubborn, huh? All right, guys, I'm gonna play with the belt and get it off. You can figure that one out. If you're not familiar with these things, important thing to do is note the routing of your belt. I slid it off of the idler pulley first, then I was able to get it up off the alternator pulley. So it goes around the alternator pulley, back behind the idler pulley, over the AC compressor, then the crank. All right, make a little diagram of that for yourself, draw it up. Take note of it so you don't get confused. I would recommend changing a belt if you're doing your alternator. Good time to throw one in. They're not that expensive. I got one for like $13 at Advanced Auto. Could you get a discount code? Buy it online. You save money. I forgot one more thing. You have to disconnect that ground cable there. Let's see if that's a 12 mil. I think it is. Oh, disconnect your battery before you do this job. I forgot to mention that. Disconnect the ground cable off your battery. Then you can do this. Sorry guys, I'm slipping up today. My dog passed away last night. We had her for 15 years. So I guess you can imagine I'm not having a good day. But this is my friend's car. She needs it, so I'm trying to get it done for her. She was part of the family, that puppy. So this video is dedicated to Honey. All right, so you need 10 mils to remove your ground first, then your positive terminal, and then you need a 12 mil to get that alternator nut off of there. So it's 10 mil for your battery post and 12 mil for that cable. Now I'm just gonna rock the alternator back and forth and work it out of there. Just takes a little patience and some elbow grease. You'll get it right out then. Okay, you can see the gloves. They're pretty shattered. Took a lot of rocking back and forth, but I got it loose. So, two connectors and that one bolted on wire. And they come out. Make sure you don't damage the wiring. Put them behind it. Then it just lifts right out of here. Got to flip it around a little bit and she's out. I think I'm gonna have a sandwich and then we'll get back to putting this new one in. Word of advice on alternators: if you go to, let's say, AutoZone, which I don't recommend to anybody, I think Duralast parts are the worst parts you can get. On every one of my videos, just about, you hear me talk about AutoZone, and I've had other viewers who subscribe to the channel agree with me. Duralast parts are real garbage. Even if you go to Pep Boys, O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto, they are going to give you some remanufactured junk out of the warehouse for a ridiculous price. Go to rockauto.com and get a Mondo, I believe is the name of it. That's the original equipment manufacturer for this alternator. Pick one of them up and you'll have the OE alternator in there that it comes with from the factory. Okay, I'll show you the part number when I get it down here. Okay guys, with a lot of pulling and a little wiggling back and forth, I got it out. Let me show you how it fits in here. There's a bolt. Hold on a second. My neighbor came by. He's going to interrupt me here. There's a bolt. Here's where your alternator bolts go through, right here. You can try leaving the old bolt on with it loose. It might drop right through. That this is split. I'm going to see if that bolt fits through there right now. Actually, here goes the bolt. It does drop through there, so I'm going to try to drop the alternator right through there with the bolt in it. On the alternator, you'll see these metal sleeves. the bolt pulls on that and makes it tight against that fitting there. The new one should be loose, so it should go in easier. The part number for this is a Mando. They are original equipment supplier for Kia. The part number from Rock Auto for this is N911A1089. That's N911A1089. That's for the 1.6 liter Kia Soul. Okay, so I'm gonna put this bolt on here and then we'll start sliding that in there. So my neighbor Larry came by. He doesn't want COVID either, so he's wearing a mask. He's smart. A lot of people are still not wearing masks. I don't know what's wrong with them, how many people got to die to convince him that this is real. But he's got shocks gone bad on his 98 Lincoln Town Car. All right, where's that new alternator? What the hell did I do with it? There it is. All right, we're gonna try wiggling this in here. I got the bolt in it.
Oh, I'm heading down the house.
All right, I'll see you later. I'm gonna go try going in this way. Need to light it here just to see where the hell I'm at. Sun went in. I don't have that much light. There it is. It dropped right in with the bolt through it. Just got to make sure you line the pulleys up. That's how you can eyeball it, by the pulleys, and then you can get it right in with the bolt in there. So that's the best way to get that out. I don't need to film the reinstallation of this, guys. It's the reverse of the removal. So thank you very much for watching. Well, you know what? I'll film after I set up the new serpentine belt. To do that, they recommend to do the serpentine belt, jack it up, pull this wheel off. Then there's an access panel you can pull off down there to get the belt on your lower pulleys down there. And then I'm going to do that tightening thing with the 108 hertz, so it's the same tightness as the original belt that was on there. That way we're sure we're not over tightening it. If you over tighten these bolts, you can over tighten the belts. I mean, you can wind up overloading the bearings on your pulleys, on your accessories, and they will go bad prematurely. You don't want that happening.